For years, those of us who forgot to become afraid of our own power to think and our own observations have seen the writing on the wall. Fortress America, militarized America, drugged America, thug America, frightened America, police state America, Yankee flag used like a swastika America. A lot of people, mostly born after World War II, have gone as far as to say America is becoming the new Nazi Germany. Pat Buchanan, among others, seems to exemplify this as he howls for a so-called culture war against all art and people he considers obscene, subversive, anti-American, and anti-family. He has also gone on record saying, quote, Hitler was a man of great courage. But has America really become the new Nazi Germany? Corporations would love that. After all, who paid to set up the last one? Sure, the screws of dictatorship are tightening, but doesn't this remind you of someplace else? At least the Nazis made the trains run on time. But get our trains to run at all? Forget it! Think Brezhnev. Think Chernenko. Think of an economy falling apart. Cities, factories, nuclear facilities, all crumbling and falling apart because the morally bankrupt old toads at the top are too out of it to care, let alone get anything done. Mass incompetence, spider webs of corruption, bosses rewarded with millions in bonuses for slashing tens of thousands of jobs. Think of a government more and more obsessed with spying on its own citizens, each one a suspected criminal, many of whom love their country very dearly. Or, as Guy Martin put it in an article in Spy magazine, imagine living in a country where an army of aging, cynical functionaries holds the citizenry in thrall. A physically disintegrating country whose government routinely puts people to death. A country where a cornucopia of security forces has a legal mandate to invade the privacy of a terror-ridden populace by whatever means comes easiest to hand. Directional mic, random frisk, urine sample, infrared videotape, phone tap, financial profile, informer, drug raid. Imagine living in a country where the economy is strangled by huge monopolies. A country that cannot effectively engage in trade with its competitors. A country whose punitive bellicose regime undertakes as the foundation of its foreign policy nothing less than total domination of the planet. Yes, you think as you sit back in your chair, it would be terrible to live in the Soviet Union. But the country described is not the Soviet Union at all. It is the United States. Has America become the new Soviet Union? We have a drug czar, an energy czar, even an AIDS czar, and in a still weirder tribute to Orwell, we call our King Kong-sized War Department the Department of Defense. It's getting harder and harder to tell our so-called news magazines and news shows like Time, Newspeak, Newsweek, apart from out-and-out Soviet-style propaganda. Fronting for the corporate police state is the national entertainment state. Instead of news we can really use, we are continually handed things like, Who Deserves to Die? Cover of Newsweek. How about this one? Cyber porn. Time exclusive. A new study shows how pervasive and wild it really is. Can we protect our kids and free speech? Of course, Time says hell no to free speech. Then people might realize how much these magazines lie. and quit buying them. Oh no, can't have that. But it was later revealed that this article was not put together by some kind of journalist or expert, but by a student at Carnegie Mellon University who was doing a study on how to get started in the cyber porn business. So the kind of websites he surveyed were like a little askew. But did Time retract the story? No. Instead, they give us the new age of angels. 69% of Americans believe they exist. What in heaven is going on? And what in heaven is going on when the same lovely magazine during the last national election, which used to be a watershed of discussion about issues that actually really mattered, what they gave us this time was Hillary versus Liddy. Who will be a better first lady? And let's not forget all the endless distraction of the shoppers towards what's really going on with more and more about Evita. Our own Evita. Now that she died in the car wreck, what do you want to bet that not too long from now these very kinds of magazines are going to be claiming people put their hands on the television screen and Princess Diana cures their arthritis. It's not far away, believe me. Here we go, another one from Time. Are music and movies killing America's soul? I hope so. Somebody better be killing America's soul when we're told our soul revolves around Titanic. Or when we're fed an unending diet of these live TV shows like Cops or America's Most Wanted. I mean, they run those shows, especially Cops, the real stories of the Highway Patrol, or now America's wildest police chases. It's like the Super Bowl. It's like a sports cast where the cops are the good guys that everybody's supposed to be rooting for, and the bad guys you're all supposed to hate, almost always young people of color. And if they kick the apartment door open without any kind of a warrant, oh, what the hell, they're the cops, they're the good guys. Get 'em, rah, rah, we win. It's like this desensitizing agent to get us to not want to have any human rights anymore, to get us to accept that the drug war is okay, because then people of color might not be in your neighborhood anymore. And, I mean, let's not forget the just out-and-out ridiculous propaganda that went down during the Gulf War. Remember that? Where around here they would say things like, 5 seconds of, looks like there's acting crazy in San Francisco. And you'd have, 20,000 demonstrators. And then cut and give much longer footage to 50 people waving conveniently provided plastic American flags at a mall in Concord. See, everyone, viewers, America supports the war. The most outrageous example I found out, I didn't even know about till I went to where it supposedly occurred in Tampa, Florida. You may recall that when General Schwarzkopf came back from the Gulf War, there was all this hype, especially in the USA Today. Tampa braces for the big parade, the welcome home parade for Schwarzkopf. How will they control 1 million people all wanting to get close to our new hero? And sure enough, on TV, it looked like they were having a big parade for him. But then I get to Tampa and find out from people who say, yeah, I turned on the TV and there were all these people watching the parade. And then I looked out my window and there was nobody watching the parade. And then in the big Tampa Bay Buccaneers football stadium, now named after Houlihan's restaurant chain, by the way, a competitor to Hooters, apparently. You know, they figured it would be a whole Nuremberg-sized crowd filling up the stadium, but no, they had to get the camera angles real tight on Schwarzkopf to have enough people behind him. You know, again, the ruse was supposed to go on. Yellow ribbonism uber alles. America supports the war. And they couldn't even leave the little kids alone. When they reach draft age, you'll have a much better time coercing them to go get killed when you bring them up on Desert Storm bubblegum cards. The first rat to be smelled with these cards is that there was no bubble gum inside. And instead of raising your child on wholesome sports heroes like Deion Sanders or Joe Montana or whatever, they offer you Admiral Frank Kelso.